Well, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
This is beautiful. It's a packed room. Thank you so much for coming. It truly is an honor and a pleasure to be with you today. And I will be sharing the stage with one of my favorite people, John Tagge, and I'm so proud to introduce him. So John Tagge is the creator of PWMTaggeAfterburn, which I will say is one of the most efficient fat burning ways to get your metabolic rate up and get the weight off of your body. John has been doing PWMTaggeAfterburn for the last 30 years and has worked with 10,000 clients. Some of them are professional athletes, others are musicians, actors, and everyday people like you and I, beautiful women like yourselves. And I have had the honor and pleasure of working with John Tagge in the weight loss groups that I teach at the Amen Clinics. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce John Tagge.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Wilmer, for the very great, gracious introduction. I'm excited to be here today, you guys. I hope you guys are excited. Yes? And today, I want to inspire you guys to make yourself the top priority. And I want to inspire you guys to exercise or to continue your exercise program. I want to teach you about monitoring your heart rate and how to monitor your heart rate. But more than anything, I want to teach you how to do burst training because it's the most effective and efficient way to work out. As I was coming over, I think about an illustration I could tell you guys to show you how important exercise is. And you know when you're taxiing in on the runway and the airline attendant comes and talks about the safety procedures? And she gets to the oxygen mask and she puts it over her oxygen. She doesn't want to mess up her hair. Like, well, I don't think. Well, what she's telling you to do is take care of yourself before you take care of your children, right? If you don't take care of yourself, including with exercise, everything in your life is compromised. I promise you, it's compromised. You have to make yourself a top priority. I've been in this business over 30 years, and 90% of my clients have been women like you, right? And I've heard all the excuses. I'm tired, I'm lazy, I'm fatigued. I get it. You guys are all great multitaskers. You do it all. The kids, the soccer, the basketball, the dinners, even your spouse, right? Even the husband, the spouse. They say that if you put exercise in a pill, though, it would be the leading blockbuster medication in this world. It is a priority to exercise, you guys. I want to introduce to you one of my clients named Susan. Susan came to me 3 years ago. Susan was 90 pounds overweight. She was depressed, fatigued, low self-esteem, not a priority. And the last time she went to a family trip in Las Vegas, they didn't let her on the zip line. Can you imagine, you guys? On a zip line, up there in front of her family, you're too heavy, right? So Susan called me the very next day. She told me, I'm ready to make myself a top priority. I said, Susan, come on. I'm going to put you on a heart rate monitor program. We're going to put you on a treadmill. We're going to start at 2.4 miles per hour on a treadmill. Anybody do treadmill work here? 2.4 is pretty slow, huh? Methodically moving. No, you're holding on. I go, come on, Susan, relax. No, man, I'm scared. To fast forward to today, after doing intimate bouts of 9.6 miles on the treadmill, here's Susan today, 60 pounds lighter, right, by doing burst training. But not only that, she's energetic, she's confident, her relationships are improved, right? She takes less medication by making herself a priority. Now she's a zipline enthusiast. And what is this burst training we're talking about? First of all, there's a misconception out there that you have to go between 40 minutes to 2 hours to work out, right? You gotta go to the gym every 2 hours, 7 times a week to work out. But the reality of it is that burst training is the most effective and efficient way to get the benefits of a 2-hour workout. And who has 2 hours to work out a day? Does anybody? No? I don't. Burst training is the most effective and efficient way to train. So wrong on the 2-hour workouts. It's 30 to 60 seconds of all-out work followed by recovery. All-out work followed by recovery. It's scientifically proven. Any medical publication out there, including the Journal of Obesity that Dr. Willemar has actually written on with overweight people, of 30 seconds of all-out followed by recovery, has the best benefit. Brain function. Doctor will tell you about the brain function on the cellular level. New brain cells, among other things. Serotonin levels, endorphins, right? Making the feel good, the feeling of euphoria. And yes, the metabolism increased. Weight loss, right? Weight loss too is also important. I'm telling you guys, we have to exercise. We've lost the luxury of time. We have to do it. But every aspect of your life gets better. You're going to go see a finance person today? That gets better when you exercise, right? You're going to go get a motivated speaker about how to change your clothes or whatever. Whatever it is that you're going to take in with the speakers, exercise has to be part of that component. I've been doing this 30 years. Everybody up. You want to try it? Let's try some bursts. Everybody up. Let's get some room. Get some room. Anyone with pink issues? Right, we're not going to do it. Take off your shoes. Take off your shoes. All right? Give me 20 push-ups. No, I'm just kidding. So this is a drill called hot clothes, right? I don't have time to go to the gym. This is your bedroom before you go downstairs, right? Before you go to work. And what I'm going to try to have you guys simulate is that you're putting your feet on hot coals, right? And you want to move your arm swing when you dance and also when you move. So 30 seconds, we're just going to go forward and back, okay? 3, 2, I don't stop much. Go! 30 seconds. Right? Here we go. I feel good. I all start to sing. Told you you would now. I feel good. Told you you would now. So good. So good. Now stop. Look at you guys. I wish I had a camera. You know? Anyway, it's important to make it fun. So let's do it again, but I want to add some music. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go everybody up, let's do it again! Woo! Come on, baby, forward and back. 10 seconds, don't burn your feet. Excellent, excellent, excellent. How we doing? Good? Man, did you guys feel good? Come on now! Woo! Now stop! Feel again, you know the guys are giving us data. Who needs to go to the gym, right? This improves every aspect of your life. I promise you. 30 years of doing this. Go and sit down, you guys. Now I'm all hyped up. What is afterburn that is caused by burst training? It is the calories burned post-minute after you've worked out. Brain function. Doctors are talking about the brain function. The serotonin level and the dopamine is all right. The endorphin highs. The self-esteem. And weight loss. Calories you burn post-workout per minute. Does everybody know how many calories you burn per minute? Calorie a minute, right? That's the general average. How many calories do we burn when we're sleeping? None. Whoa, man. We're always burning calories, right? We're always burning. So where do we get that number higher? Take that 1 minute to a minute and a half, right? To 2 minutes. That's afterburn. It starts to drop off, and then you hit it again. I'm going to give you an analogy, right? Anybody has a husband who has a Corvette? He's in the garage, he's sitting on his lazy boy, never does anything. Get up, no. Goes to this grocery store, it's about a 10-minute trip. Every stop sign, red light, 30 miles an hour stop. 30 miles an hour stop, right? Gets the groceries, go back to the house, you park the Corvette in the garage. He doesn't know you're gone. Well, there's a better way to do it, right? You get the husband's Corvette out, right? Rev it up, right? 80 miles an hour between stop sign and red lights. You get to the grocery store. You get your groceries, you're back in 7 minutes. Great, he doesn't know, but he will know. Because the car's engine will stay hot longer, right? And that's kind of like your metabolism. Let me kind of give you a graphic, okay? There's just a general out there, I'm sure you guys know this, that the average person burns 100 calories a mile. Not in no argument, this is the general formula, mass over distance and time, 100 calories a mile. So if you go 2 miles, 200 calories burned, 0 afterburn, just your minimal basal metabolic requirements. There wasn't any stress. Anybody ever seen a sprinter's body? They're stressed. The guy is lean and mean, right? Here's a 2-mile run, kind of your 6, 8, 10, 12-minute mile average, 200 calories, maybe 100 calories throughout the day, extra on your afterburn. Or 20 minutes of burst training. 20 minutes of burst training, if you're hitting 10 calories a minute, some information for you guys to write down, 10 calories a minute is a good hit in terms of your workout. 200 calories burned, but you burn 750 more calories in a 24-hour period. Why? Because you're afterburn because of the burst training. Brain function, metabolism, where do I sign up? And every aspect of life is better. We have to do this. I've been doing this 30 years, teaching thousands of you guys. I promise you, this is the way to go. And there's programs out there. Don't get me wrong, there's programs out there, right? The second part of this program, why it's so good, is because heart rate monitor. Makes you accountable, measurable, you can't cheat, and it makes you safe, right? I'm working hard, John, I'm working hard. What's your heart rate? 120. Come on, you're not working hard enough. It's a direct indicator of stress, your heart rate, right? So it's important that you guys get a heart rate monitor, or I can teach you how to monitor your heart rate. 3 ways I use. One is the carotid artery up at the Adam's apple. Place your 2 fingers, not your thumb, it has its own pulse, next to the carotid artery, and count for 10 and multiply by 6. That's your exercise heart rate. That's archaic, I know, that's old school. Or the radial, behind the base of the thumb, your 2 fingers, apply light force, you feel palpitations, count for 10, that's your exercise heart rate, okay? Or a third way, right? Polar is my company I love. They have a heart rate monitor strap that comes right here, picks up at the sternum, and it transmits your watch. If I was to tell you guys one thing today, is to monitor your heart rate and get a system. Because I'm telling you, everybody, technology is all going that way, and Bluetooth and apps and fitness this and fitness that. Get a Bluetooth Polar heart rate monitor. It goes to your iPhone, your computer, it tracks everything, it makes you accountable, right? You have your own personal trainer right in your hand. And if you don't exercise, I promise you guys at some point in time, you're going to have to fight illness. Every aspect of life is better, but if you don't do it, you can expect this. Okay, you can expect this at some point. I came here today to change your life in every aspect. Like you've heard in the beginning what Dr. Wilmar said. I've trained over 10,000. It's not about me, you guys. It's not. Okay, I come from a medical family of 8 taggies. My dad was a cardiologist at St. Jude's in Fullerton. Anybody ever heard the taggy name? We all grew up working in my dad's office to inspire people to teach. He'd be on the whiteboard showing my aorta valve, and the nurse would go, "You're backed up, doc." He says, "I don't care. I want to teach these people what's going on with them." All 8 of us have it. All 8 taggies have it. Most of my family, siblings, in the medical profession is doctors or nurses. I have one sister who ran a national known weight loss program, who's in the audience today. She believes in her brother, but knows that this is the way to exercise. Everything in your life is better. First training is the way to go. Get a heart rate monitor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in today, right? I'm also excited for Dr. Wilmar to come and bring you the benefits of brain function. Please, TagGAfterburn, email me at gmail.com or Twitter me. That's a new one for me, Twitter. What's Twitter? Like me on Facebook. Anybody have any questions before I give it over to Dr. Wilmar? Yes.
Do you recommend CrossFit?
It's an interesting. CrossFit has its place. It has its place for structure, but also has its place like all exercise programs for injury. Just moderate and progress. Oh, by the way, with this, you guys, on my DVD, great question, thank you. Progression. Don't go do a 9.6 mile per hour treadmill interval burst, right? Or an elliptical, or a hot call, right? Progressively take it up. As the condition warrants, and you get more fit, or your body gets acclimated, take it to a higher level. I think any program is good to get you moving. You guys having bad deals in your life, like depression or addiction, or you're not motivated, get moving. Get moving. I promise you, look back today and go, that guy was right. Get moving and get the heart rate up, and every aspect of life is better. I'll say it one more time. One more question? Les.
I seriously want to go back to that slide where it said you were burning 750 calories while you're sleeping. Is that?
Well, no, in a 24-hour period. Basically, what afterburn is, thanks for the question. Afterburn is excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Anybody know that term? It's your breathing, your respiratory rate's higher, you're breathing in more air. There's 20.9% oxygen in the air. You're bringing more in, you're burning more calories. It takes, for 1 liter of oxygen, the general rule is 5 calories. But even at night, you're burning calories, and that number's elevated. 1.2, 1.3, depending on your lean muscle and the stress and your sleep. And Dr. will talk about sleep and the importance of sleep. This will all put into account. Okay. Any other questions?
Is that the same as metabolism then?
Basically, resting metabolic rate is metabolism. Right. And that's really the key. Yes. Yes. Oh, so that's a great question. Yeah, and please come by the booth today. I'll talk to you about heart rate formulas in terms of that. Excellent question. Really, what you get the best benefit is the intensity of the up. So I want you to recover. So to start, be 30 seconds to a minute. Because if you start to take it out to 2, 3, 4 minutes, the intensity is not there. Usain Bolt, the fastest guy in the world, can't run 19-second 200 meters. right? At some point, it starts slowing down. So the intensity of 30 to 60 seconds followed by recovery. What's recovery? You guys want to know recovery magic? When you're mentally and physically ready to attack it again, and then you go again for 30 seconds to a minute. And you can apply this to anything. My wife applies it to cutting roses. She's out in the front. You know, it's the truth. Oh, man, she's happy. Are you guys good? I want to introduce you to Dr. Wohlmeyer. Okay, she's going to come on up. She's the director of neuroscience at the Amen Clinic. She is highly talented, and I have a pleasure to share the stage with her. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's a tough act to follow. Well, John's got us all up and excited, got our blood pumping, we're getting oxygen to our brain. So the second part of the talk, I wanted to talk about ways that we can maximize our success with weight loss and exercise. Would you like to learn about that? Yes. So I have had the good fortune of working at the Amen clinics, and I'm not sure if any of you know who Dr. Daniel Amen is. You might have seen him on PBS. Yes, show of hands. Excellent. So the Amen clinics is a psychiatric clinic, and we utilize brain SPECT imaging as a way to do targeted treatment with our patients. So I have the benefit of being their director of research, and I get to do all of the fantastic research studies that we do at our clinic. One of the first things that I did when I began working for Dr. Amen is we did the largest study on living NFL football players. So you've heard about this in the news, that playing football is a brain-damaging sport. So we started doing this 5 years ago. And what we found after working with the first 10 players is that these brains were in need of rehabilitation. They were a complete disaster. So part of the rehabilitation efforts were doing very simple things like natural supplements, dietary and lifestyle changes. So yours truly ran a weight loss group for NFL football players. Yes, I had 100 players, and of course, I'm not a trainer. I am not John Tagge. So I needed to be creative to teach these guys how to lose weight. The weight loss group was so successful that I began doing it with our patients at the clinic, many of whom are the target audience here today. So we have women between the ages of 30 and 65 that have been coming to see me for the last 5 years for help with weight loss. So the strategies that I'm going to teach you today, I'm going to teach you 4 strategies on how to maximize the efficiency of achieving your weight loss goals. Now, John Tagge is part of that strategy because I've actually brought him into my classes to help teach the women how to burst. And you can see how amazing the bursting is, right? Even that short bout of energy, it's amazing. It can accelerate your metabolic rate all the way through the day into the evening while you're sleeping. We've monitored that with the monitors that you can wear on your wrist. So before I get into that, the title of this segment is Putting Yourself First on Your To-Do List. Now, how many of us do this, right? We as women are natural born nurturers. Biologically, we're wired to have children and raise them into adulthood. So right between the ages of 15 and 55, all we're doing is nurturing. We're nurturing our spouse. We're nurturing our children. We're nurturing our aging parents. We're nurturing our pets, who actually give back to us. So that's a good thing. And we all have demanding jobs. So finding that space within which to actually put exercise in or achieving our weight loss goals or nurturing ourselves can become very challenging, right? I myself know I have a mom with cancer. I have a boyfriend who's had a major hip surgery. And I have a pet that I take care of and a demanding job. So just like you ladies, I've got to really work on carving out that space to put myself first. But before we get into that, I want to get into the 4 steps that I think are important to achieving your weight loss goals. And step number 1, and I teach this to everybody, my weight loss groups, is knowing your motivation. So why do you care? Why is it important for you to lose weight? I want you to set that intention. And that could be because you want to get into your skinny jeans, or you want to look great for your spouse, or maybe you have health issues, metabolic syndrome, diabetes, so you need to get healthy for those reasons. So I want you to write that down, because writing it down and actually putting it on paper and reading it helps to put that into your brain space. So I want to offer you up one suggestion that I've learned from the research that we've done in the Amen clinics, and this is why I brought up the NFL study. We decided to look at the brains of people who were normal weight versus those who were overweight, at least in our NFL players. And what we found was really disturbing. So excess weight on the body actually limits the function of your frontal lobes. So that's your prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is so important. It helps us to make good decisions in life. It's the centers for empathy. It's the centers for organization and self-control. So having lower function in that prefrontal cortex is not a good thing. And we looked and we thought, well, we looked at this in these brain damaged athletes. Why don't we look at it in healthy people? So we then did a study in healthy adults and asked the same question. If we looked at the healthy weight people versus the overweight people who had no other health issues, what would we see in the brain? We saw the same thing, decreased perfusion and function in the frontal lobes. Well, this is not a good thing, lady, because again, our frontal lobes are like the CEO of our brain. This is where we make good decisions. So when I get into knowing your motivation and why is it important to lose weight, I'd like to offer up a brain health reason. So the more we have excess weight on our body, the smaller our brain size. And there's numerous studies that have been done that show that, because fat on the body is actually an inflammatory organ. And it produces something called inflammatory cytokines that actually poke holes in the cell membranes of your neurons and the cells of your body. So when I say to my patients, I want you to get really clear on your motivation for weight loss, you may want to add brain health to that. So once you get clear on your motivation and you've written it down, I want you to set a goal. So many times I will teach classes for 10-week periods of time because it takes 2.5 months to change a habit. So I want to work with people over those 2.5 months to really get them inspired to do something and have the accountability to do it. So what I have everyone do is write down the goals of the things they want to achieve within that 10-week period. They write it on a piece of paper, and then I take that, and at the end of the 10 weeks, we look and see if they've achieved those goals. So part of it is the accountability factor. So if you want to achieve certain goals, I want you to write them down, and then I want you to give them to someone. Give them to your husband, give them to your trainer, give them to someone that you're going to be accountable for. So does that make sense? Step one, knowing your motivation, and then writing down your goals so that you're accountable for the outcome. Step two, I want you to set the intent to put yourself first and then consciously create that space to do it. Because how many of us find that time in our schedules to get the workout done every day? Do we have that? Show of hands. Okay, I see like 8, 10 maybe, and this is a packed room. So first, setting the intention to put yourself first. What I want to share with you is we've done research looking at the difference between male and female brains. So we actually looked at 46,000 brain spec scans. Oh my God, a large number. And as many of you women know, okay, we're very different from men, right? So do you want to know what the differences in our brain is versus theirs? Ours are bigger. Well, you're right. That prefrontal cortex that I talked about, which gets damaged when you have too much weight on your body, it's larger in women. Yay! We make better decisions, and we know that, don't we? So we have a larger prefrontal cortex. What that means, so the prefrontal cortex is our seat of empathy. Right? Aren't we more empathetic as women? We care more about people. We sort of understand how they feel. And that's why we're such givers, because we have empathy. We're nurturers. We're more collaborative, right? Men are more competitive. Women's brains are wired to be more collaborative. Women's brains also have a lot of excess activity compared to men. Right, we're hypervigilant. That's why women always remember the birthdays, the anniversaries, and men always tend to forget them, right? Because they're not as hypervigilant. Women's anxiety centers tend to be higher. And we always say a little bit of worry is good, because worry can make you achieve your weight loss goals. Worry can get your kids to the doctor, your husband to the doctor. But too much worry turned inward makes us anxious. So women with these overly active brains tend to suffer from more mood disorders like anxiety and depression, which is why it's really important to get exercise in. Because women tend to have lower serotonin levels. So do women know what serotonin is? It's that feel-good neurotransmitter. It's actually the one that gets elevated when we have our favorite foods, like a pastry from Starbucks or a slice of pizza. So all of those things elevate serotonin. Because women tend to be lower in serotonin, if you go and start working out, like John Tagge just showed you, actually elevates serotonin. So that'll help reduce your cravings for sweets and help you with your weight loss. So as you can see, women's brains very different from men. And with our brains being different and with our brains being more primed to nurture, you need to consciously set the intent to put yourself first. And what I like to teach my patients is, if you're a giver and a giver and a giver and you don't receive, there's an energetic imbalance to that. And when you tend to give too much to the point of exhaustion, which we do as women who are empathetic and nurturing and collaborative, well, we tend to attract more people who take from us. How many people get that, right? So the way to change that equation is to set the space for you to nurture yourself. And I know it sounds hard, but nurturing yourself can come in the form of 20 minutes every day in your schedule to do John Tagge Afterburn. It can be time to meditate. It can be time to get a mani-pedi. But guess what? When you do that, you're actually going to start setting boundaries for yourself so other people won't take from you, and you're going to start attracting people who will give more to you because you give to yourself. So it's a form of self-love. Makes sense, right? But until somebody actually puts that tangibly to you, we don't think about it. We just go until we're exhausted and have nothing left to give, yet still somehow manage to find more to give, but we're exhausted and don't have time to work out. So ladies, I want you to set the intent to put yourself first. And now I want you to consciously create the space to do it. So what I teach my patients is, I want you to find 20 minutes in your schedule, because we just learned what John does. He said it takes 20 minutes, and we do it every week in my weight loss group. I bring him in, and we actually spend 20 minutes in bursts, just like this, in a room like this, and do an exercise. And it can be bursting, and you can burst doing anything. You can burst walking your dog. You can burst riding your bike in nature, because bursting is really about doing 60 seconds as fast as you can and then doing a 90-second recovery. And 60 seconds as fast as you can in a 90-second recovery. And you do that 5-10 times. Right, John? Right. That's right. I've learned. So I want you to set that 20 minutes in your schedule. And I want you to put an appointment in your book, because if you don't write it down, you won't do it. You're actually going to take it from your brain space and put it onto the paper. And I want you to do that for the next 2.5 months, because it takes 2.5 months to change a habit. So I actually want to teach you how to create a good habit for yourself. And if you don't have that 20 minutes in your day now, then you can get up a half an hour earlier and do that 20 minutes in the morning. And guess what? Once you've done it, I want you to cross it off the list. And the reason why lists are so good and writing things down is so good, when we work with patients at the clinic who have ADD, and I don't know if you have it, but you have ADD, sort of all the thoughts are out there, the best of intentions to get things done. But when they write it down on a list, they get it done. So we just tend to get things done more when we actually put it on our schedule and then cross it off. And then 2.5 months later, I actually want you to look and see how many times you've done it and honor yourself. That was time you gave to yourself to nurture. So we've got our first steps, right? Knowing your motivation, why do you care, and writing down your goals. Step 2, setting the intention to put yourself first and consciously creating that space to do it. Step 3, okay, this is my favorite, and I don't know how many people do this. I want you to consult the intelligence of your heart and to do exercise that's fun for you. Oh my gosh, this is so important. So do people know we actually have a neural plexus in our heart? Our heart is a thinking, feeling heart. And these neurons can make connections to the brain. We can actually change brainwave function through our heart. Okay, so what does that mean for exercise and weight loss? What it means is the exercises you do that you love will actually reap rewards. The exercises that you do not like, don't do anything. And I'm going to give you an example. So I have a patient who's an executive who came to see me. It's a man. And he goes to the gym, has a trainer, and I said, oh, what do you do at the gym? Oh, I sit on a recumbent bike. I said, okay. What do you do? Do you work out hard? He goes, oh, I watch CNN. Oh, okay. I'm like, how long have you been doing this? He's like, oh, about 3 years. I said, have you lost any weight? No. I said, that's why I'm here to see you. I go, okay. Do you like going to the gym? Oh, I hate going to the gym. I said, he goes, that's why I have a trainer to get me there. And I said, but you haven't lost any weight. He goes, yeah, but I'm there and I watch my show. I said, okay, we gotta change this whole mindset. And I said, you're a CEO, right? He said, yes. I said, I want you to exercise like a CEO. I said, I want you to maximize the time you're in the gym. I said, how would it feel if you spent 20 minutes in the gym? I said, oh, that'd be great. I'd be out of there. I said, I'm gonna give you a protocol, 20 minutes on a recumbent bike. And it's a stepwise protocol, kind of like the Taggy Afterburn. And in 20 minutes, you can burn 350 to 400 calories. And you're gonna get off that bike and your glutes are gonna hurt and you're gonna feel it in your legs. But guess what? You're gonna come back in and do it the next time. It's gonna be easier and you're gonna start to see weight loss. And that's exactly what happened. So he went for years doing the same thing, sitting on that recumbent bike for 45 minutes, watching CNN. And as John said, right, an hour of just phoning it in, for many people doesn't work. That bursting training, which I use with my patients, accelerates the weight loss, and that's what motivates you, right? You want to actually see the results. Same thing happened with one of my NFL players, right? I had to teach this weight loss group. They don't want to work out. That's what they did for a living, going to the gym. So I said, what sounds like fun? Oh, Dr. Wilmer, swimming sounds like fun. I said, get your ass in the pool. I said, we're going to go to the pool. And I said, you know what? I'm pain. Oh, the neck pain and the back pain. I said, you know what? I go, that water will support your joints. There's a calming energy that goes across the whole body when you're in the water. I said, I want you to get a kickboard, just like a 5-year-old would do. And I said, I want you to go back and forth, and you report back to me how many laps you did. So the first time you did 7, and it works, right? Just use a kickboard, you're working your legs, or put something between your legs and use your arms. Well, 7 laps became 14. 14 became 25. 25 became 50. He's done it for 3 years. He's lost over 100 pounds. He loves the pool, because guess what? It's fun. It reminds him when he was a child. So when I ask you to consult the intelligence of your heart for what's going to be most fun for you, I want it to be that first answer that comes to mind. And again, that could be just being outside moving. I like to teach my patients, a stiff body, like one that doesn't work out, is like a stiff mind. It actually sort of creates a rigidity in thinking. A limber body, one that we work out and move, creates a limber, creative mind. So that's, again, this is getting into more of the brain space of being successful with your workouts. Okay, so that's step 3. Well, the cool thing is if you do step 3, and you should ask yourself every morning when you get up, what do I want to do today? Maybe I don't want to go to the gym. Maybe I never want to go to the gym. Even people with John Taggy, okay, some people go, I don't want to do that bursting. That looks hard. And he's so intimidating. Now, when he teaches with me, he's got on the short shirt, the bulging muscles. And, you see he's kind of intense. And we've got these ladies who are in my class like, oh my God, I've got to do this bursting. Well, people love him. He is such a kind, caring, compassionate guy. They consult the intelligence of the heart. They go work out with him as their trainer because it's fun. They're like, I don't know if I want to do the bursting, but I actually really like this guy. So people do well with him, right? They come back because it's fun and they lose weight. So whatever it is that's fun, that's what you want to do. So now your heart, right, with its powerful electromagnetic energy, affects the brain. And part number 4 in this whole equation is being mindful of your thoughts and getting your brain aligned for success. Now, elite athletes do it, pro athletes do it. That's what sports psychologists help them do, is to get their brain space and a mindset to be successful. So I don't know if many of you know, but from the minute we get up, we're thinking, to the minute we hit the pillow. And they say on average, we have about 50 to 60,000 thoughts in a day. Oh my God, right? Oh my God, those are unregulated. Unless somebody like me or somebody else who's working with me actually teaches you to mind your thoughts and actually look at the self-talk And a lot of it's negative self-talk, right? Based on what our parents have taught us or how we were raised or images in the media. We're not good enough, we're not pretty enough, we can't work out hard enough. Well, all that just sabotages our success with anything, with any goal that we want to achieve. So one way to change the negative self-talk is first to realize we're doing it. Because until somebody says it, you actually don't realize it. And we do it over and over again. It's like the hamster wheel. You get on that one thought that just keeps going. Something that we do at the Amen clinics, it's called developing an internal anteater. So ants, automatic negative thoughts. Oh, I gotta speed it up. Okay. Okay, and I won't go into that because I don't have time. So I want you to mind your thoughts. 2 quick ways to do that besides, so the anteater is about turning the thought around into something more positive. One thing I'll teach my patients is meditation. So the coolest thing about meditation, and I do it at the end of all my weight loss groups, it quiets the mind to turn off the thought. And sometimes we need breath work to do it. So I'll have my patients take that sort of deep breath in through the nose, expanding the diaphragm, and out slowly as possible through the mouth. And it's amazing when you focus on the breath that you totally forget about whatever that negative thought was that was irritating you. So some people will do breath work or meditation. Other ways to do it is having a gratitude journal about yourself, by the way, and things that you're grateful for, because that works the positive pathways in the brain. And one of the things I love with my patients, because I think the subconscious plays such an important role in being successful with your weight loss, is I have everybody write down on a piece of paper all of the things they want to achieve. It could be with their weight loss goals, like I want my body mass index to be in a healthy range. I want to do Taggy Afterburn 5 times a week, whatever it is. And the goals can be big. It might not even be with exercise. It could be I want to travel to Africa. Put down all the things that you love, write it down on paper, put it at your nightstand. I want you to read it every night before you go to bed. It will start to go into that subconscious brain space. And remember, most of us might not realize, but 5% of our brain is conscious thought, 95% is subconscious, and it's the subconscious that's sort of driving our actions. So if you want to get that Taggy Afterburning, you might want to put that into your into your things that you want to do. So with that said, those are the 4 most important steps that I've found that have helped my patients be successful with weight loss. Knowing their motivation, setting the goals and being accountable, creating the conscious space within which you want to do it, and set the intent to put yourself first, right? Consulting the intelligence of your heart to find an exercise that's most fun for you, and then minding your thoughts and be sort of a powerful thought machine. It's like you want to optimize your success, and by doing this, you'll reap all the benefits of weight loss. I know. Okay, I'm getting the high side. So I just want to say thank you, ladies, and I hope this was helpful. It's a pleasure to have all of you here today.
Rolling now. So